More questions?
See your Lincoln Mercury dealer today.
Kung Fu, the legend continues. Tuesdays at 10 on WKPT-TV.
WKPT News Tonight.
Except 2. The school board was forced to cut about a dozen teaching positions because of budget constraints this year. Tonight it was announced at a meeting through resignations, transfers, and replacements, the board was able to place all but 2 teachers. The 2 positions in question are in programs that will no longer be offered: small engine repair at Sullivan East High School and electronics at Sullivan South High.
The quality of instruction will be high in Sullivan County this year, but we do have a few situations in elementary where we're right at the borderline of having to or needing an additional teacher. So what we did tonight primarily was place back some folks in positions where they had last year or transferred to other positions.
The board has applied for additional grants, and the board hopes to make a decision about adding other teacher positions at its next meeting. A stabbing at a Kingsport nightclub landed 4 Sullivan County men in jail. The stabbing took place during a fight around 3 a.m. this morning outside the Corral nightclub in the Kingsport Mall. 3 Kingsport men, Kenny Martin, John Morlock, and Donald Bowman, and John Sexton of Sullivan County were all charged with aggravated assault. Police say the 4 got into an argument with Robert Castile of Kingsport. They started in the bar and moved it outside to the parking lot where the stabbing occurred.
Found a knife that we believe it was involved in the stabbing, and at this time we think there's just one knife involved. All 4 of them were present when the stabbing took place, so all 4 of them was charged with aggravated assault.
Castile was treated and released at an area hospital. The 4 men were arraigned in court this morning and all placed on $5,000 bonds each. A Churchill, Tennessee man was found dead in the Hawkins County Jail this weekend. 18-year-old Sean Mapps was being held on several theft charges. Early Saturday morning, a jailer discovered Mapps' body on the floor of his cell.
He had torn off a piece of sheet and made a small rope out of it and tied it around his neck and just more or less choked himself.
Mapps was pronounced dead at the scene. Police say he left behind 3 suicide notes. The Sheriff's Department is conducting an investigation. The jury was seated today, and the trial is now underway in a Wise County, Virginia murder case. 37-year-old Mary Peace is charged with second-degree murder in the death of her husband, 35-year-old Dennis Peace. Now, he was found dead in his home in November of 1993, the victim of 2 gunshot wounds to the chest. Now, Mary Peace says her husband committed suicide. Prosecutors say it would have been close to impossible for Dennis Peace to have shot himself twice. They say Mary Peace shot her husband during an argument. The trial is expected to last about a week. Well, it was the final Sullivan County Commission meeting for 11 commissioners and County Executive John McCamey. Most of the 11 not coming back were voted out during August 4th elections. Reporter Susan Poole has more on the changing of the guard.
During the past 19 years, Sullivan County Executive John McCamey has had a hand in county politics, either as county executive or as a commissioner. But his service with the county is over, at least for now. McCamey called his final meeting with this commission to order. Saying goodbye seemed hard for the executive, but he said farewell by expressing pride in his work with the county commission.
In the last 4 years, we've had record growth in Sullivan County. We've had over $525 million worth of growth, which means that as the years go on, additional taxes are going to come in. And I'm proud of the fact that we are in excellent financial condition. I'm proud of this commission.
McCamey says he will help newly elected County Executive Gil Hodges ease into office. The former property assessor sat in on McCamey's last meeting, preparing to assume the county executive's duties next month.
Well, there's no plans of different course of action. Of course, we have our plans and working towards goals we've set for ourselves, and we're at this time started on those already, and we will continue at a very fast pace as we can.
The county executive and 7 county commissioners were voted out of office in the August 4th general election. Another 4 commissioners did not seek re-election. That means in September, 11 new commissioners will take their seats. Among those being replaced are Commissioners Margaret DeVault, Eugene Kuchenauer, Fred Childress, Harold Childress, and Rita Grossclose. One of the last items of business voted on by this commission was the appointment of Piney Flats attorney Paul Fry as the new county attorney.
I've been a lifelong resident of Sullivan County. I've always been interested in government and politics, and I thought this would be a way that I could give something back to the county that's been so good to me.
Some say the new faces coming to replace the old guard on the commission will bring with them a new way of doing business in Sullivan County. In Blountville, Susan Poole, WKPT News.
Conservationists are fighting a casino planned for Cherokee, North Carolina. They say it means potential harm for the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. One member of the National Park and Conservation Association says Las Vegas-style lights visible from the mountains would be a horrible legacy. The Eastern Band of the Cherokee Indians reached an agreement last week that will allow the casino, which could be built within a year. The agreement must still be approved by the U.S. Department of the Interior. Well, be prepared to produce 2 IDs if you're going to buy liquor in Virginia. Beginning July 1st, the state has passed a law requiring ABC stores to ask for 2 forms of ID from anyone appearing to be under the age of 30. In the past, store clerks were told to obtain proof of age for customers that appeared less than 25 years old. The Virginia Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control says the new law is designed to prevent anyone younger than 21 from buying liquor. Well, fill the boot. That's what the Rogersville firefighters will be asking you to do, and the money is going to the Muscular Dystrophy Association. The fire department holds this fundraiser each year, and the money is given to the MDA at telethon time. The firefighters set up roadblocks on Saturday and ask motorists to put money in their boots.
Well, we've been doing this since 1981, helping out muscular dystrophy, and that's sort of an illness that the fire departments statewide, or I guess nationwide, have adopted to support. And we try to lend our support each year with a Fill the Boot roadblock. And we stand out in the road and solicit money from the people to give to muscular dystrophy. They do get 100% of the proceeds. None of it goes to the department.
The roadblocks will be set up at the east and west ends of Rogersville on Saturday. They hope to raise about $2,000. And you can watch the MDA telethon right here on WKPT-TV beginning Sunday, September 4th. Mark Murphy is here now to talk about the possibility of rain heading our way.
Very good possibility of rain. What we have to do is go all the way down to Florida to find out just why we're going to get this rain. If you stay with me, we'll take a look at the maps and see how the rest of this week is going to shape up for us.
During Friendship Ford's first annual all-out closeout, here's what we've got to offer. New Ford's discounted for $6,000, starting at $79.99. Payments as low as $139 per month. $49 down delivers, and some below invoice. Hard to believe? Want to hear it again? New Ford's discounted for $6,000, starting at $79.99. Payments as low as $139 per month. $49 down delivers, and some below invoice. Friendship Ford.
There's nothing cleaner than spotless, spotless, spotless. You want a spotless clean, spotless Kirby cleaner.
A hard copy exclusive. Roseanne. Tom's out. Ben is in.
The more they got to know each other, it developed into a friendship.
He was Rosie's chauffeur. Now he's her confidant, constant companion, and some say even more.
Now they're claiming that Tom threatened to kill him.
Roseanne's new man. Plus, Michael and Lisa Marie. A revealing look at what may be the real reason behind their marriage. Why they did it on the next hard copy.
Weekday evenings at 6 on WKPT-TV.
The current affairs story is not just about somebody else. It's about us, all of us. It's not just TV, it's life. And so if you think you know what A Current Affair is all about...
You haven't seen us lately.
A Current Affair, the original. And it's still the best in the business.
Weeknights at 7 on WKPT-TV.
A large part of the United States is enjoying fabulous weather. If we take a look at this, from the mid-Mississippi Valley, move on back to Kansas, Nebraska, go up to the Great Lakes region, move over to New England, down to the Delmarva Peninsula. Plenty of very nice weather. They've got the humidity down, they've got the sunshine out, the temperatures are at a very nice level, particularly for this time of year. But you can look from southern New Jersey, follow the line of clouds through central Tennessee, and then as you keep moving further south, plenty of clouds. The clouds do increase. If we take a look at the surface map, we'll get a better idea of just why these clouds are increasing, particularly on the west coast of Florida. We're watching a stationary front keeping a cooler, dry air to the north of that frontal system. To the south of that, we've got the warm, moist air that is in place normally this time of year. However, with that, we have a tropical storm, our second tropical storm for this season. What that is doing is just intensifying that movement of the warm, moist air, particularly across the southeastern portion of the United States. It's Tropical Storm Burl, situated north of Panama City right now, moving north-northeast at about 3 miles per hour. Current winds are at about 50 miles per hour, but associated with the winds is a lot of rain. Earlier today we were showing you video. I've updated that. Let's take a look. We're at Cedar Key right now. That is far to the southeast of Panama City, but just an idea of what is happening this evening. Plenty of sponge boats had to pull into port and dock themselves. The weather is not good if you're out on the water. The tropical storm, it's not a terrible situation, but it is bringing more rain to the southeast. If you remember, it wasn't long ago that Atlanta, the state of Georgia, were getting record amounts of rain in a monthly period. They don't need much rain. A good 5, 6, 7 inches associated with this tropical storm will not be uncommon, particularly as this continues to move northeast across Georgia into the Carolinas. Plenty of wetness on hand for the southeast. Some of that wetness will be making its way to the 5-state region. But before that, right now, we've got pleasant conditions at midnight. I guess we could say it's Tuesday. A current temperature of 70 degrees, the relative humidity 81%, a light breeze out of the northeast at 3 miles per hour. Our barometric pressure, still 30 inches of mercury or more. It's a good indication, but we'll see that drop to 29 or so tomorrow. Let's take a look at the radar map. We'll get another picture of where the rains are, what's going to take us into the next day across the 5-state region. Very easy to plot where the rains are. Potential for severe weather. We've got a severe weather watch box, obviously from Panama City moving over to Yankeetown, Florida, over to Cedar Key, Florida. But you see all of the rain once again. Alabama, Georgia, into the Carolinas. Raleigh picked up 1.5 inches of rain throughout the day today. Again, sitting just around that basically stationary front, and we'll get more of these rains over the next, say, 24, 36 hours in around there. Overnight low temperatures across the United States tonight. Pleasant for this time of year, particularly the 5-state region. But take a look at these 50-degree temperatures moving very far into the WKPT viewing area. Higher elevations, cool conditions tonight. A nice change, but we're going to prepare for more summertime rain. The map for tomorrow, we'll see how things change. Low pressure system continues moving to north, but 2 days from now, we'll see how things change once again, as is always the case with the weather. We've got the outlook map, and things already start to clear out. We'll see if that holds true. Here's the forecast for tonight. Our overnight low temperature, 62 degrees, mostly cloudy conditions. Anytime now, about a 50% chance of rain. That takes us into tomorrow. Our daytime high temperature, a few degrees cooler than normal. About a 90% chance of scattered rain throughout the entire day. The extended forecast, here it is for the rest of this week. Wednesday, we'll keep that chance of showers hanging onto our forecast. Thursday, the chance diminishes. By the end of the week, we could be in good shape. Daytime high temperatures, mid-80s roughly. Overnight low temperatures, low to mid-60s. We can easily watch the storm, or I should say the source that's going to bring us our rain. Outside of that, we've got good weather, at least at the end of this week, once it's over.
Great. Thanks, Mark. Up next, we'll take you to some heavy battling on Capitol Hill over a crime bill and health care reform. Stay tuned.
You want to know about my budget? Well, 2 kids with braces, 2 cars with 6 months to live, a mortgage the size of Mount Rushmore. Let's see, soccer uniforms, insurance. My budget needs some serious help. Oh, did I mention the credit cards?
The teller at my bank noticed our account said Matchmaker International. She wouldn't let me go. She was so full of questions. How we work, how long it takes. Do we have nice men her age? Then she said, I don't know if I'd pay to meet someone. So I asked her if she'd hire an accountant to do her taxes, a dentist to fill a cavity, or a lawyer to draw a will. She smiled and said, I get it. These days, if you want something done right, you hire a professional to do it for you. Matchmaker International. It works.
What does the Kingsport Area Chamber of Commerce do for you?
Helps business and industry stay competitive.
Develops community leaders.
Provides a voice in government. Brings the AAU tournament to town. Keeps Kingsport clean and beautiful.
Helps get the best education for our children.
Helps me manage my small business.
Helps bring more jobs to the community.
Support your Chamber of Commerce. It's working for you.
The Clinton administration stepped up its attack on the Republican leadership and the House today in an effort to revive the compromise crime bill. Opponents say it contains too many social programs to be called a crime bill. ABC's Vic Ratner reports.
Against a backdrop of police officers and crime victims in the White House Rose Garden, President Clinton continued to turn up the heat on the Congress to bring back and pass the $33 billion crime bill.
We have asked the Congress nicely long enough. There should be no more excuses, no more tricks, no more delays.
Mrs. Clinton was also enlisted in the fight.
An assault weapon doesn't care what political party you are. An assault weapon in a drive-by shooting doesn't even care if you're a member of the National Rifle Association.
Republican leaders have suggested a separate vote on the assault weapons ban and doing away with some of the anti-crime spending programs they call pork. But Republican leader Bob Dole told a business group there is no indication that the White House is willing to make major changes in the bill.
But our message to the president is, come on, Mr. President, if you want to work this out and you want bipartisanship, let's do it.
Democratic leaders in the House plan to meet tomorrow to decide what changes in the bill they will make. They only need to turn around 8 members' votes to win next time. Vic Ratner, ABC News at the Capitol.
The U.S. Senate has been at it almost a week debating health care reform. Democratic leadership is frustrated. They've had this much discussion but haven't voted on a single amendment. Majority Leader George Mitchell hopes to bring to the debate to a head soon. ABC's Nancy Ambrose has this story.
Both sides were back at it, going after each other's health care plans, but making little headway on reforming the nation's health care system. Senator Dole denied that Republicans are filibustering.
We're not trying to delay. If we were delaying, you could tell us.
But things remained at a standstill on the Senate floor, where a frustrated Majority Leader Mitchell denied Republican charges. His plan creates a government-run health care system.
While it's going to be repeated over and over again, it is simply not correct.
A short time later, both leaders sat side by side at a White House ceremony as President Clinton spoke of Franklin Roosevelt's fight for passage of Social Security.
That is something we should all remember as we struggle to come to grips with the challenges of this age, the challenge of crime, the challenge of health care. These kinds of changes are difficult, but they always have been.
And they could prove more difficult for Mitchell in the days ahead, with Republicans ratcheting up their attacks on his bill and liberals warning, don't change it too much.
My vote cannot be counted on unless there are strengthening amendments.
Meanwhile, senators on both sides of the aisle called for the Senate to act.
Let us begin to vote. Let us begin to legislate.
At this point, no one knows when that might happen. Nancy Ambrose, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
Mark Peace is here to tell us about the strike, the baseball strike. They're not picketing anywhere, are they?
They're not picketing, but they're not negotiating either.
Not doing anything.
Like these guys don't care of the fact we could lose the entire baseball season. What's going on? Up next in sports, the Atlanta Braves finished up a 4-game series tonight at home against Houston. Sorry, old habits hard to break. Hey, we'll show you, though, some baseball players who wouldn't go on strike. They wouldn't dare go on strike. The K-Mets. Stay tuned.
On the next Kung Fu. Sweet dreams. Come when Peter falls into a coma.
He is lost.
in a dark place. Cain must battle for his soul. If you lose this battle, your son will die. And face Peter's inner demons.
I am your father. I have no father. He abandoned me.
A life and death struggle.
I'll kill you.
On the next Kung Fu, the legend continues.
You could win a trip to the U.S. Open Tennis Championship. Yes, watch for information in your cable bill on the U.S. Open sweepstakes. You could win tickets to the Open, lodging, round-trip flight tickets from Delta Airlines, other USA Network tennis goodies. You don't have to be a cable subscriber to enter, but look for all the details in your cable bill on the U.S. Open sweepstakes from your Tri-City Cable Co-op, USA Network, and WKPT-TV.
Reaching out across America, the stars you love and your neighbors too. You can join the celebration. Lend a hand to MDA. There's so much you can do. Stars across America.
Jerry Lewis and Stars Across America Labor Day weekend right here.
We saved a place for you.
On the next Little House on the Prairie.
Did you ever see anything so fast?
Please stop crying.
If you could have heard them.
They didn't know. Now you have to expect that sometimes from people.
I don't want him to meet my friends. And I don't want them to know he's my father.
Little House on the Prairie, weekdays at 4 on WKPT-TV.
Welcome to sports, everyone. We'll update the Major League Baseball strike situation in just a minute, but first, let's talk about the Kingsport Mets, who find themselves in a pennant race with just 2 weeks left in the Appalachian League season. The K-Mets trailing the Johnson City Cardinals by 3 games in the Southern Division, entering tonight's contest at J. Fred Johnson Stadium, which, by the way, was against the Cards. It was the final meeting of the season between the two teams. Scoreless in the second inning when the K-Mets did the scoreboard against Blake Stein. Roberto Alfonso drops a base hit into left field, scoring Eric Morales from second base. 1-0 Mets. Top of the third, Jesus Sanchez pitching for Kingsport. And watch Johnson City's Pete Ambrosina throw the bat. Hey, where's that bat going? Look out. And he smartly adds more pine tar, going for the more secure grip on the lumber. Kingsport threatening again in the home half of the third. Byron Thomas at second. And John Trelace brings him home with the RBI single to left. The throw to the plate way up the first base line. 2-zip K-Mets, but the game starts to unravel for Kingsport in the fourth. Burt Green single, steals second, and then goes to third when Sanchez's pickoff attempt goes into center field. Green would eventually score, making it 2-1 K-Mets, but more bad play in the field would cost the K-Mets a run in the sixth, 2 more in the eighth inning for the Redbirds, sending them to the win tonight over Kingsport. Final score 4-2. It drops the K-Mets 4 games now behind Johnson City in the Southern Division. The K-Mets host second place Elizabethton in a doubleheader tomorrow night at 6. And speaking of Betsy, the Twins tonight a winner over Huntington 3-1. That keeps them within a half game of Johnson City in the Southern Division race. Elsewhere in the completion of a suspended game, Bristol over Danville 6-4 in 18 innings. The regularly scheduled contest, Danville blanking Bristol 8-0. Elsewhere, Burlington in the first of 2 over Bluefield 6-2. Bluefield comes back to win the nightcap 5-0. And it's Princeton 8, Martinsville 3. That final score. Monday was day number 4 of the Major League Baseball strike. 46 games have been canceled so far, and millions of dollars lost by the players and owners, but nobody seems in any hurry to get the situation resolved. Yesterday, the owners negotiator Richard Ravitch spent his day playing tennis, and today the two sides held only informal talks over the telephone, but there could be a small ray of hope. Former Oakland A's owner Charlie Finley, who has plenty of experience dealing with striking players, says because most of the present owners are leveraged to the hilt, he expects the owners to seek a settlement within 1 week. Let's certainly hope so. Other baseball news, Michael Jordan's rotator cuff injury is not serious. Maybe he'll get that batting average up over 200 before the season's over. Don't count on it. Jordan underwent an MRI today by the famed Dr. James Andrews in Birmingham. Dr. Andrews isn't sure, though, when Jordan can resume playing. MJ suffered a sprained shoulder and a strained rotator cuff diving for a fly ball in the Birmingham Barons game on Friday night against the Memphis Chicks. And Minnesota Twins pitcher Pat Mahomes narrowly averted tragedy early this morning in Minneapolis. Mahomes had been in serious condition after he was first admitted to the hospital after suffering head injuries in a car crash, but tonight he was released from the hospital. Police say Mahomes was traveling at a high rate of speed when he rolled his Jeep over on a downtown bridge. Mahomes is 9-5 with a 4.72 ERA as a Twin starting pitcher this season, and holding, though, because of the baseball strike. On the track, this time a year ago, Mark Martin used a win at Watkins Glen to start a 4-race winning streak. Martin hopes history repeats itself because Martin and the Valvoline Ford won yesterday's Bud at the Glen, starting on the pole and leading for 75 of the 90 laps to post his first win of the NASCAR Winston Cup season. Taking a look now at the Winston Cup standings after 20 of 31 races, Dale Earnhardt still leads Ernie Irvin by 27 points. Irvin finished second yesterday and Earnhardt third. Martin's victory has him within 3 points of Rusty Wallace for third place in the point standings. Kenny Schrader is fifth. The rest of the top 10, Ricky Rudd is sixth, and Morgan Shepherd, Jeff Gordon, Michael Waltrip, and Lake Speed is in 10th place. Next up, the Goodrich 400 at Michigan on Sunday, and it's now official now. John Andretti will take over as the driver of the STP Pontiac from Wally Dallenbach starting Sunday at Michigan. Of course, that car owned by the famed King Richard Petty. The ETSU football team put on the pads today for the first time during fall drills, but the Bucks are expecting big things on the gridiron this season under third-year head coach Mike Cavan. The biggest difference between this ETSU team and this other teams is, I'll get it out in a second, it's vacation, getting rusty, confidence. After back-to-back 5 and 6 seasons, the Bucks like the fact they are ranked in some preseason polls.
To be considered ranked in any poll, so I guess there will be something to build on. People are expecting good or great things from us, so if we can just come together and play together, things will work out.
I think we definitely can build on it. As a team, when you see one of your members in a book like that, everybody strives to be better and stuff like that. So I think we can benefit from that.
It gave us a lot of, self-confidence, that what we did last year wasn't for nothing. That, we proved something to everybody and that we could play football with the best of them. It made it feel like, we gained a little respect for ourselves,
Being in one poll, we was ranked 25th, and then one poll I heard we was ranked 15th, that's, at least we're getting a little respect now. That don't mean a whole lot preseason, but we hope we can be up there a little higher, if not a lot higher at the end of the year.
I think that for our program, it probably didn't hurt us unless we sit back and look at it, and don't do anything about it. Just what I alluded to earlier about work ethic. If we work hard and really do things the right way, then yeah, that could be good for us. But if we look at that and say, oh, we've arrived, we're number whatever it was in the nation, then it won't be any good. But a preseason ranking really isn't much to it, unless you do something about it.
I think it gives us motivation to work harder to prove ourselves because, at 5 and 6, we was in at least 4 of the games that we lost. And I think if we just work harder than the rest of the team, we can win the conference.
Everybody on the whole team they really pumped everybody up and made everybody realize we earned some respect around the country.
The Bucks open the season on Thursday, September the 1st against Catawba. Finally tonight, NFL exhibition action, as many of you just saw here on WKPT-TV. The two-time Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys played the Houston Oilers in Mexico City. I just hope both teams took their own food and water. Just kidding. Seriously, the league looking at Mexico City as a possible expansion site. The game played before a record crowd, 112,000 people at Azteca Stadium in a quagmire. And Jimmy Johnson had to love this scene. Jerry Jones lecturing Barry Switzer on the sidelines, perhaps telling him to not play running back Emmitt Smith because of the muddy field. And is Smith lobbying for a trade to the Oilers? Troy Aikman did play in the first half. They had a hard time on the field, which was in terrible condition. Here tossing the INT. The only points of the night, on the night, a pair of Al Del Greco field goals. And on the scoreboard, the final, Houston 6 and the Dallas Cowboys nothing. Though, Bruce, Mexico fans used to seeing zeros on the scoreboard. A lot of course, soccer games played at that particular stadium. A couple of World Cups, as a matter of fact.
All right, this is a different ball game, huh?
Who know baseball?
All right. Thanks, Mark. Tennessee's newest resident is a Bear. This is not a Chicago Bear, an Atlanta, Georgia Bear. We'll meet him next.
With 1,200 patterns in stock, B&J Paint and Wallpaper in Johnson City can help you find the perfect wallpaper for your decorating needs. And they offer you savings of from 20 to 75%. B&J Paint and Wallpaper also gives you a 20% discount on any paper or border you order through them. B&J Paint and Wallpaper, your headquarters for wallpapering in the Tri-Cities with a complete line of wallpapering and painting tools and accessories. B&J Paint and Wallpaper, 121 Spring Street, Johnson City.
like about the show, it's like it's old reliable. Well, it is reliable because it gives me what I need.
They give me a total picture of what's going on in the world. They're all over the place. They're airing from Alaska.
Joan was like ice hiking. I thought I would never do that.
I remember when they went bungee jumping.
Well, you never know what's going to happen. It's like a breath of fresh air.
Absolutely the freshest.
If you watch, you know. Absolutely.
Weekday mornings on WKPT-TV.
It's pretty scary when Dad puts the brakes on DJ's date.
You're studying in your room tonight. Case closed.
So Becky helps her sneak out.
I'll only be 10 minutes, I promise.
But DJ takes advantage.
I can't believe you have to go already.
Where would I go? I just got here.
And Becky has to tell Danny the truth.
Becky, you told on me? I thought you were my friend.
Geez, wait.
Is their friendship finished? The answer on the next Full House.
Weekday afternoons at 5 here on WKPT-TV.
We all know the advantages of living in Tennessee. The volunteer state has a lot to offer. And now add a bear from Georgia to the list of enlightened new Tennesseans. Reporter Chris Curl tells us more about this special bear.
Sweet boy, Ron. You'll have fun up there, I promise.
This is a bear going through a midlife crisis. He doesn't understand why Zoo vet Rita McManaman won't let him out of his cage and into his bear grotto. The concrete enclosure has been his home since he arrived as a cub from the Houston Zoo 18 years ago. His pool and his fish sickles made Atlanta's summers almost bearable. But for a kind of bear that lives along the northwest coast of Canada and Alaska, there's only so much even his caring keepers could do.
He's had shelter. He's had a nice pool to bathe in. His shelters and his dens have provided warmth during the winter if he needed it, and coolness in the summer when he needed it. And he has access to go in and out. He has shade because there's lots of trees around the habitat, but really that is the bare minimum.
What was state-of-the-art for bear exhibits 30 years ago just isn't acceptable in the 90s.
We've never been satisfied with these concrete exhibits for bears, as you know. We've always moved them to natural habitats whenever we could. We've been looking for 10 years for a nice natural area for a Ron bear.
So, as soon as his human friends agreed that the Smoky Mountain Zoological Park in Tennessee was the best place for him, it was time to begin Operation Ron Bear. The plan calls for some heavy equipment and a 1,000-pound customized reinforced bear crate. And this will hold him.
Yes, it will hold him.
Has he ever been in a crate like this before?
Probably when he was very young, when he was only about 2 years old when he came to Zoo Atlanta. So this will be his first time as an adult going on the road.
But for mammal curator Sam Winslow, getting Ron Bear on the road starts with getting him inside the crate.
Well, we've got some of Ron's favorite foods. He loves grape jelly, so we put together some jelly sandwiches for him and some green grapes.
Getting Ron Bear to enter the crate and to like it there is the job of zookeeper Michelle Shireman.
Hey, Ron Bear. We're going to put those down inside the crate so he has something nice waiting when he gets in there. This is his reward for going into the crate for us.
And he'll end up in Tennessee soon. I got a note about a Kingsport native, Chris Cave. He's 19-year-old. He's a sophomore at Ole Miss. He came in 7th in the International Elvis contest out in Memphis this week. And they're celebrating, I guess, honoring Elvis's, the anniversary of his death tomorrow. Mark, tell us about the weather again.
Tropical storm in Florida will give us showers tonight, probably through tomorrow. I know that maybe the next day. Temperatures, well, on a rainy day, they don't really matter. Upper 70s if you're interested.
All right, Mark?
I'm going to give all the high school football fans in the area some fair warning starting next Monday, running all week. We'll do our high school football previews, the teams that, I guess, the 10 teams that were the old Big Ten starting on Monday with Sullivan South and DB. So season coming up in just a couple of weeks for us, and we're all geared up for it.
Where has the summer gone?
Yeah, really.
That's it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll have more news, weather, and sports tomorrow at 5:30. We'll see you then.
August 15th, 1994.